So even though I've always been a shy person and not the type to get close to people easily, I still wanted friends. Because, humans are social creatures, right? Spoiler alert, I had zero understanding of flirting back then, like none. Absolutely clueless. I don't really remember how I first met this boy, but I was around 4 or 5 years old, and he was my neighbor. His house was right next to mine. I remember I loved playing with him a lot. Our front yard were small, honestly kind of cramped, so whenever I stepped outside or even just stood on the porch, I could see him playing with another kid. Long story short, the three of us were always playing together, running around, playing tag, just kid stuff. Would start around late morning and play until it got dark around 5 p.m. Then one day, I don't know where the other kid went. I remember it was just the two of us. Quick side note, I loved climbing trees back then, and I still have a scar from it that hasn't disappeared for more than 20 years already. I actually like it. It feels like a tiny cute tattoo, but from nature. Okay, back to story. It was almost golden hour. We had been running around non-stop, completely exhausted, and eventually we sat down together on a long wooden bench next to his house. And honestly, the setting was way too perfect for a romantic moment. We were tired, catching our breath, and somehow started talking. I genuinely have no idea what 2 4-year-olds could even talk about, but we were just sitting there, watching the sunset together. It felt cozy. I'm enjoying the moment. I was getting so comfortable, so I didn't notice that he'd been staring at me until I did. He looked like he wanted to say something, then he started glancing around, checking if anyone was nearby. I was super confused, then suddenly he twirled my hair, gently touched my cheek, and leaned closer. And oh my god, I remember feeling confused and uncomfortable and frozen all at the same time. And then he kissed me on my cheek. I froze. And before I could process anything, he kissed the other cheek too. Anyway, after that, we just stared at each other. He pinched my cheek and said, "Let's play again tomorrow." There was a little pause because my brain was absolutely not keeping up. Then suddenly, he stood up, ran as fast as he could back to his house, covering his face, leaving me sitting there like, "Wait, what? Why did he do that? What just happened? Hello?" In total confusion. The worst part, it took me 20 years to realize that he was flirting with me the entire time. Why am I like this? Of course, I told my mom what happened and she just laughed. I think she did not take it seriously. Years later, when we talk about it again, my mom told me that our neighbor back then had one son who was actually younger than me, and apparently he grew up really handsome. Tall, dark brown eyes, black hair, fair skin, not too skinny, not too big. He was my best friend, and he made my childhood something worth remembering. He's probably not going to watch this video, especially since he doesn't speak English. But if he ever starts learning English, hi, I hope we can be best friends again someday and show the world how much of a rock stars we are as friends.